Hey guys, what's up? So in this particular course, we are already dealing with introduction to modern Indian history, and any introduction is incomplete without dealing with previous year question paper. So in this particular lesson, I'll be talking about previous year question paper of prelims 2014 to 2015. Okay, so this is presented by me, Roman Sehni, and if you feel that this course is helping in any way or an academy is helping in any way, we would love if you can contribute by clicking on contribute to button below the video and leave whatever voluntary fee you can so that we can bring more and more awesome courses. You can follow me on Unacademy on unacademy.in/user/Roman Seni. So I'll be talking about 2015 UPSC CSC prelims now. The question first, with reference to the cabinet mission, so my bulb goes on in my head that I'm talking about cabinet mission. So I'll recall everything I can. There are three members: Krebs, Alexander, Attlee appointed it, and like I'll try to remember as much as I can. Wavell did not took part and stuff like that. Which one of the following statement is or are correct? First statement first. It is recommended government. It recommended a federal government. It said confederate word, so it can be taken as a federal government. It enlarged the power of the Indian courts. Absolutely wrong. It provided for more Indians in the Indian civil services. Absolutely wrong. So answer is one only. Some people might mark it D because they will say it is written loose, confederate and stuff like that. But don't overthink. Answer is A in this case, according to me. So here federal government means loose confederate. So there were three members just for additional information: Patrick Lawrence, Secretary of State for India; Stafford Cripps, President of the Board of the Trade; and A.V. Alexander, who was First Lord of the Admiralty. They were appointed by Attlee, who was the Prime Minister, and Wavell did not participate in the cabinet mission, surprisingly, though he was the Viceroy of India at that time. Second question, which one of the following movements have contributed to a split in the Indian National Congress, resulting in the emergence of moderates and extremists? Saran ma'am, this is a very basic conceptual question that it can be followed logically. 1905 partition of Bengal. Moderates were there for last 20 years. People were frustrated because of them. They were not giving positive results for the last 20 years. When partition of Bengal, they said that no need to do violent protest. But then Swadeshi movement started and extremists wanted to do some radical stuff. So they separated from them, and in 1907 in Surat split because of Swadeshi movement. There was a split among the moderates and extremists. So answer is Swadeshi movement. Now with reference to Rowlatt Act, which of the following statements is or are correct? Rowlatt Act was based on the recommendation of Sedition Committee, and it is a Sedition Committee. It's absolutely true. In the Rowlatt Satyagraha, Gandhiji tried to utilize the Home Rule League. Yes, there were messages were spread among the masses, and demonstrations against the arrival of the Simon Commission. See, statement 3 here, demonstration against the arrival of the Simon Commission coincided with the Rowlatt Satyagraha. It is absolutely impossible because they are a decade apart. It is, we are talking about late 1910s here, and we are talking about late 1920s here. So answer in this case is B, that is 1 and 2 only. Both 1 and 2 are correct. Simon Commission came a decade later. Which of the following statement were the economic critics of colonialism in India? Dadabhai Nehruji, absolutely, he wrote a detailed book on train of wealth theory. G. Subramaniam Iyer, yes, he started the newspaper which is every civil service aspirant reads, called The Hindu, and he talked a lot about economic policy of England. R.C. Dutt, yes, he was an economic historian and he wrote a lot of treatise, a letter to Lord Curzon and everything. So the answer here is D, that is A. All the three are the economic critics as it is mentioned here. With reference to Congress Socialist Party, the key word here is socialist. It is not Marxist, it is not communist. Socialist and Marxist and communist, all three are different terms. So socialist is not equals to communist here. So it advocated the boycott of British goods and evasion of taxes. It wanted to establish the dictatorship of proletariat. Proletariat is working class, so it is absolutely wrong. It is more Marxist philosophy. It advocated separate electorates for minorities and oppressed classes. It has nothing to do with religion, basically. So 2 and 3 cannot be correct. So 2, 3, 2, 3, everything is gone. So answer is D, none of the above. The Socialist Party and not Marxist Party. Socialist Party had nothing to do with religion most of the times, and class divide is there. They do not talk about caste or religion divide. So statement 2 and 3 are clearly wrong. Answer is D. Government of India Act of 1919 clearly defined what? Separation of power between the judiciary and the legislature. Absolutely wrong. Jurisdiction of the central and provincial government. Yes, and the residual subject will lie with the central government. This is a common fact, like diarchy, you must have heard about that. So Government of India Act 1919, central and provincial government jurisdiction. So answer is B. It is like a fact. There's nothing much you can do about it. Which of the following organized a march on the Tanjore coast to break the salt law in April 1930? So, like individual satyagrah, Vinoda Bhave, Jawaharlal Nehru, who is the first, second, third. So, similarly, Dandi March, although Gandhiji took the Dandi March, but there were many salt satyagrah to replicate that Dandi March. Here, the answer is C. Rajgopalachari. So, he took that march in Tanjore coast. Okay, list of all the people who broke the salt law you should remember, just like you remembered individual satyagrah. So next year they might ask something else also. So you should remember at least the top three people who did that. Now, the first woman president of the Indian National Congress was Sarojini Naidu. It is wrong. It was Annie Besant in 1917 Calcutta session. And first Muslim president was Badruddin Taibji. Yes, he was in 1887, just after 2 years of Congress formation. So B is correct. It's just a factual question. There is nothing much you can do about it again. Now 2014 prelims. The partition of the Bengal made by Lord Curzon in 1905 lasted until 1911 when Delhi Darbar happened and King George came. The King George V came and he did it in Royal Darbar and he abrogated Curzon's Act. It is again a very basic fact. There is nothing much you can do about it except you can focus on your studies. So 1911 partition of the Bengal was annulled. Plus they shifted the capital from Calcutta to New Delhi. So if you were in Delhi in 2011, they were celebrating 100 years of shifting capital to Delhi. 1929 session of Indian National Congress is of significance in the history of the freedom movement because of the Purn Swaraj resolution. Okay, like Jawaharlal Nehru unfurled the flag on Ravi River. All that happened, everybody knows that. So answer is B in this case. Purn Swaraj resolution was passed by Lahore session of Congress in 1929. Gadar, what was Gadar? Gadar was basically a society, a based in organization rather, which was started by North American Indians who are very passionate about India's freedom. And basically, it cannot be in Singapore, Berlin, Tashkent. Tashkent is in Central Asia, by the way. It was obviously headed in San Francisco. So, Revolutionary Association of Indians. Just remember any city in USA or Canada might be a good guess. So, Gadar Party organization. It was by Punjabi Indians of Canada and USA. Objective was to secure India's independence from British rule, as I've already spoken. And important members included Lala Hardayal, Sohan Singh Bakhna, Abdul Hafiz, Muhammad Barkatullah, Kartar Singh Saraba, and Ras Bihari Bose. Okay, Ras Bihari Ghosh was moderate, Ras Bihari Bose was extremist. Now, what was the objective of Queen Victoria's proclamation of 1858? To disclaim any intention to annex Indian states? Yes, because Indian states by default recognize the sovereignty of crown and they will not be annexed any further. To place the Indian administration under the British crown? Absolutely true. To regulate East India Company. They completely abolished East India Company in India. So third is absolutely wrong. Answer is 1 and 2 only. In this case, 3 is totally wrong and 1 is true and 2 is true. Because Indian states were to recognize the crown paramountcy to be treated as part of single charge. Now the Radcliffe Committee was appointed to do what? To solve the problems of minorities in India? Wrong. To give effect? Wrong. Boundary between India and Pakistan? It's absolutely factual question because the boundary between India and Pakistan is still called Radcliffe Line. Okay, is that understood? So that he delimited the boundaries between India and Pakistan, as simple as that. And this is how like the question should be answered. It should be logical, factual, conceptual, episodical memory. Everything should come together and you should be able to answer these questions. And it is always helpful that you ponder a bit, like a 1-2 seconds before you mark the answer. And first instinct is usually correct when it comes to factual question. Conceptual question, maybe you can think about it, but factual question always mark the first instinct. So thank you for watching this lesson. Have an awesome day. Hey guys, what's up? So in this particular lesson, I'll be talking about previous year question papers of UPSC CSC prelims, and we will be talking about 2012 and 2013. This is presented by me, Roman Sehni. So if this course is helping in any way, do leave a voluntary fee, and you can do that by clicking on the contribute button. You can also follow me on unacademy.in/user/Roman Sehni. Okay, so let's start. We will start with the 2013 prelims. Okay. So, with reference to the Indian history, the members of the Constituent Assembly from the provinces were they were basically elected by the provincial legislative assembly. It is just a fact, and you need to remember it. Obviously, directly elected by the people, it is absolutely nonsense. This is a too large scale election. Nominated by the Indian National Congress, no. Why will they be given such nomination powers? It means election only. Elected by the Provincial Legislative Assembly, this is the correct answer. So they were elected by single transferable vote. Okay, so answer is C. The demand for the tebhag is a Hindi word which means 1/3. Okay, 1/3. So it's just like if you know Hindi and if you know the real meaning, you will know it. The reduction of the share of the landlords from 1/2 of the crop to 1/3. So obviously answer is first in this case. The grant of ownership of land to peasants as they were the actual cultivators. But in that time they do not wanted ownership. Now the ownership has been transferred to the tiller to a certain extent. Uprooting of zamindari system was too big for a moment. Writing off of all peasant debts. Yes, it might be the reason, but the bhag means 1/3. So answer in this particular case is that sharecroppers wanted that share of zamindars to be reduced to 1/3. Okay, so answer is A. That's how you should approach all the questions, very logically and firmly. The people of India agitated against the arrival of Simon Commission because Indians never wanted the review of working of act. Why will Indians not want? Obviously Indians will want review of all these acts, right? Simon Commission recommended abolition of diarchy in the provinces. This is absolutely wrong. Simon Commission was there to review it. Like in this particular case, like agitation why will agitation start before it? There was no Indian member in the Simon Commission. Yes, this is the correct reason. All white commission. Simon Commission suggested the partition of the country. The Pakistan term was coined in this talk started in early 30s and late 30s. So in Simon Commission is in 20s, so it's absolutely wrong. So answer is Simon Commission was an all-white member commission which infuriated Indians. Okay, it's as simple as that. Now Quit India movement was launched in response to. So again, cabinet mission came very late. Quit India movement is somewhere around World War II, 1942. Cripps proposal came just before that. Simon Commission came in 1920s. Wavell Plan also came late. So as you know, Cripps came in 1942 after the failure. There was no negotiating points. Cabinet Mission in 46, Simon Commission in 27, Wavell Plan in 1945. So that is where timeline becomes very important. Now Annie Besant was responsible for starting the Home Rule movement. Yes. She was the founder of Theosophical Society. No. Madam Blavatsky and Colonel Olcott are the founder. This is a basic fact you need to know. This is how they confuse you. Once the president of the Indian National Congress. Yes, in 1917 session of Calcutta. So in this case, as you know, 1917 Calcutta session, she was the first female president of Indian National Congress. Now Annie Besant became a member later after Madam Blavatsky and Colonel Olcott started, and they transferred the headquarters to Adyar. It was started in New York City in 1875. Answer is C. The Albert Bill controversy was related to, it's very very basic that certain judges could try the Europeans. It's as simple as that. So removal of disqualification imposed on Indian magistrate with regard to trial of the Europeans. This is the answer, and Europeans did not like it. So Albert Bill got into controversy. Object was to empower Indian judges over any accused of white race. Now 2012 prelims we will deal with now. The most effective contribution made by Dadabhai Naoroji to the cause of Indian national movement was that what could he have done? So in this case, exposed the economic exploitation. Obviously he gave the drain of wealth theory, so one is correct. Interpreted the ancient Indian text code. This is absolutely wrong. He was a member of parliament in England, so he cannot do this logically. So 2 is wrong, 1 is correct. Stress the need for eradication of all the social evils before anything else. He was a very progressive person who was more into economics. So answer is 2 and 3 are wrong. In this case, 1 is the correct. So answer is A only. The Rowlatt Act I have again before in last video also I told you, it was basically no vakil, no appeal, no dalil. So imprisonment without trial and summary procedures for trial. So in this case, answer is B. So few of the political cases could be tried without juries and arresting. So Rowlatt Act becomes an important topic because it keeps appearing in the exam again and again. The Lahore session of the Indian National Congress is very important because of the Purn Swaraj resolution. There is nothing else in this. Okay, or it could be complete independence on Purn Swaraj. So in this case again the answer is A. Congressmen will take an oath of independence on midnight of this date. 26 January 1930, it is celebrated as the Independence Day because of the Purn Swaraj resolution. That is why Republic Day is celebrated on 26 January. And launch a civil disobedience movement with complete independence as its goal. So this was the third part. Which of the following statements are correct regarding Brahmo Samaj? It opposed idolatry, denied the need for a priestly class. Yes, they are the basic feature of Brahmo Samaj. It popularized the doctrine that Vedas are infallible. No, it is basically Arya Samaj. So don't get trapped in this. So answer is in this case is B. So first two are right. The doctrine that Vedas are infallible is Arya Samaj. The distribution of power between the center and the states in Indian Constitution is based on the scheme provided. Whenever they talk about diarchy, it is the 1919 Act. But whenever they talk about center state, it means they are talking about federation. It means they are talking about Government of India Act of 1935. So it's as simple as that. 1909 is known for separate electorates, 1919 for provincial diarchy, and 1935 is it's talking about distribution of power between center and state. Congress ministers resigned in 1939 because why did they resign? Like it's very simple. They resigned because they protested against Lord Linlithgow's declaration that India is a belligerent nation and they did not consult India. Okay, so communal disturbance is wrong, left wing is wrong, could not form ministry is wrong, absolutely wrong. So answer is D. Basically, they resigned because of his declaration that India is a belligerent nation. Which of the following is the principal feature of Government of India Act 1919? Introduction of the diarchy in the executive government, introduction of separate communal electorate. So as I was saying, point 2 is associated with more 1909 parliamentary reforms. 1 is obviously is correct, and in this case the third is also correct. Devolution of legislative authority by the center to the provinces. So answer is C. So during Indian freedom struggle, the National Social Congress was formed. What was the reason for its formation? So earlier, like Congress was founded in 1885. Okay, so they thought that it should be space for both social and political activities, but others thought that Congress should be only political. So a separate body named National Social Conference came into being, and this term Behramji Malabari is wrong. The correct answer is Ranade and Raghunath Rao, who are the founders. So as you can see in this case, like what will be the correct answer? It's D, because Bengal region united, this is wrong, did not want to include social reforms in its deliberation and decided to form a separate body for such a purpose. So this statement is wrong in this case. So this petitions and representation, they are basically political functions. So A is wrong, B is correct, C is wrong because of the facts. So answer is B in this case. Sorry for this, the solution is B. Which of the following parties were established by B.R. Ambedkar? So All India Scheduled Caste Federation was established in 1946 and Independent Labour Party was established in 1936, while Peasants and Workers Party of India is a Marxist political party in Maharashtra. Okay, so answer in this case is B, that is 2 and 3. Mahatma Gandhi undertook fast unto death in 1930 mainly because of the Ramsay MacDonald announced the communal award. So in this case, creation of separate electorates for Dalits, and he opposed it. And discussion with Ambedkar happened, and it was modified into Pune Pact. With reference to Rayatwari settlement, consider the following statements. The rent was paid directly by the peasants to the government, absolutely correct. Government gave pattas to the ryots, absolutely correct. And land was surveyed and assessed before being taxed. So all three of these statements are correct. They are all the characteristic feature of Rayatwari. So I hope you like the way I approach the process and the way I am solving these questions. It will give you a sense of what are the important topics and what are not. Thank you for watching this lesson. Have an awesome day. Hey guys, what's up? In this particular lesson, I'll be talking about the previous year question papers of UPSC Civil Services Prelims, and we will be talking about the year 2011. I've already dealt with 2012 to 2015 in the last lessons. This is presented by me, Roman Sehni. And if you feel like this course is helping in any way, you can click on the contribute button and you can pay a voluntary fee, and you can follow me on Unacademy on unacademy.in/user/Roman Sehni. Okay, so let's start with the 2011 UPSC CSE prelims. So which one of the following observation is not true about the Quit India movement of 1942? It was a non-violent movement and it was led by Mahatma Gandhi. So it's a very tricky question because all the movements which are led by Mahatma Gandhi, by default they are non-violent movements. So both of them cannot be correct according to the question because there is none of the above option. So either A or B is wrong. That is how I will identify. So I have reduced my probability to 50% already. It was a spontaneous movement, yes, because World War II broke out, Cripps mission did not work out. It did not attract the labor class in general. Yes, this is also correct. It was led by Mahatma Gandhi to a certain extent, yes, because he gave the slogan "Do or Die." And it was a non-violent movement. This is absolutely wrong because mass violence erupted a lot of places in India. A lot of public property was trashed out. But that is largely because Mahatma Gandhi was like taken to jail, like jail by Britishers. All the leaders of Congress were in jail. So that is why the movement lost any leadership later on. So yes, it was led by Mahatma Gandhi to a certain extent, but it was definitely not a non-violent movement. So answer for me is A. It was meant to be non-violent because all the previous Gandhian movement, it was also meant to be non-violent. Remember Chauri Chaura, when Gandhiji recalled the movement, non-cooperation movement was recalled because of Chauri Chaura incident, but it turned violent because British came down heavily on all the Congress leaders. Okay. Now, which among the following provided a common factor for tribal insurrection in India in the 19th century? Okay, it's again a tricky question. Introduction of a new system of land revenue. Yes, it is correct. And taxation of tribal products. Okay, this is absolutely wrong. Nothing like that happened. This word tribal products is wrong here. Influence of foreign religious missionaries in tribal areas. Yes, to a certain extent, but they were not present. Like, it's not a common factor. It is not present in all the areas. Common factor means it should be present in all the areas. Rise of a large number of money lenders, traders, and revenue farmers as middlemen in tribal areas. Again, yes, to a certain extent they were there, but not in all the areas. The complete disruption of the old agrarian order of the tribal communities. Yes, this is the correct answer because the old agrarian order was disrupted because of this because of the Britishers. So answer here is D. So as I have explained, this is the most sensible answer is because due to foreign interference, the old agrarian order of the tribal community was destroyed to some extent. The complete word is okay, that is also not correct because it cannot be everywhere, but this is the most sensible answer. With reference to the period of colonial rule in India, home charges formed an important part of drain of wealth from India. Okay, so we are talking about either Dadabhai Naoroji or R.C. Dutt. Which of the following funds constituted home charges? Funds which is used to support the India office in London. Absolutely correct. Funds used to pay salaries and pensions of British personnel engaged in India. This is again correct. Funds used for waging war outside India by the British. Yes. All three included home charges. The answer here is D. 1, 2, 3. You can read this paragraph from R.C. Dutt's book. Home charges would be probably found to be the dividends on East India stock, interest in home debt, salaries of the officers is there, establishment of the building connected to the home department, wherever it is based in London or India, retired pay to the members. Okay. Also, it is connected to the British troops serving in India and portion of the cost transporting the British troops to and from India. So as it is clear, all the three options are there. So answer is D. What was the reason for Mahatma Gandhi to organize a satyagraha on behalf of the peasants of Kheda? It's a very specific event. You need to know what is Kheda satyagraha, what is Champaran satyagraha, what is Ahmedabad mill strike. Otherwise, you will not be able to do it. In this case, I know that there was a drought in Kheda. Hence, the peasants were not able to pay their land revenue. Hence, Gandhiji asked government to take care, to give less revenue or remove the revenue in this particular case. So, administration did not suspend the land revenue in spite of a drought. Yes, this is the correct answer. Permanent settlement system is we are talking about 18th century. Okay, so like or early 19th century. Where the hell will it come in Mahatma Gandhi's time? Which of the following statement given is correct? So answer is A only. Okay, so even by logic you can apply. So severe drought in Kheda district. So peasants were not able to pay the regular land revenue. So they wanted suspension of land revenue. However, administration did not budge. So Gandhiji came into picture and they got it via Gandhiji's help. What was the purpose with which Sir William Wedderburn and W.S. Kane had set up the Indian Parliamentary Committee in 1893? They were basically trying to voice the Indian opinions, or they wanted the Indian reforms in Indian politics, and that is why they were agitating in the House of Commons. Okay. Rest to campaign for the entry of India into the imperial judiciary, this is crap because at that time even Albert Will was very controversial during the same time. To facilitate India's independence, it's absolutely wrong. 20th century, you can't even think about India's independence, or not even Indians were thinking about India's independence. To agitate for the entry of eminent Indians into the British Parliament, already people like Dadabhai Naoroji were part of the British Parliament, so this is again absolute crap. So even by logic, if you know other facts, you can reduce the answer to a large extent. The answer is A. So Wedderburn was a liberal member of parliament. He joined the parliament in 1893 and he voiced India's grievance in the parliament. Mahatma Gandhi said that some of his deepest convictions were reflected in a book titled Unto This Last. So this book is written by John Ruskin. John Ruskin is basically talking about that good of one is good for all. So this is like a typical book, and it is written by, he was basically a book on economics, and this is like in 1860s we are talking about. The book was written, and like Gandhiji, like he read it during his time in South Africa, and he divides the concept of sarvodaya from it. Okay, so the good of individual is contained in the good of all. Celibacy and spiritual pursuit, absolutely wrong. Uplifting the oppressed, not related to this. So answer in this case is B. People have the tendency to mark D, but the answer is B. So as I was talking, the sarvodaya concept is taken from here. With reference to Indian freedom struggle, Usha Mehta is well known for. Usha Mehta, now it's a very specific question again. She is known for running the secret radio during the time of Quit India movement. Okay, and so this is like the basic answer. There's nothing more you can do. She was born in 1920, so she was too young for Roundtable Conference. She was serving a 4-year prison sentence during the World War II because she was running a secret Congress radio for 3 months. So she cannot be involved in INA or an interim government. So answer by that logic also comes to A. With reference to the period of Indian freedom struggle, which of the following were the recommendation by the Nehru report? Now, though this answer will include only 2-3 points, but you should know all the points of Nehru reports. So were they talking about complete independence for India, joint electorates? So it did not talk about complete independence for India. Okay, joint electorates, yes, it means that they were not talking about separate electorates. And provision of fundamental rights, yes, the Bill of Rights were introduced. So answer is 2 and 3 in this case. So Nehru report no talk about complete independence, but they were talking about joint electorates. It means that they did not provide for separate electorates for any community, or they did not provide any weightage for minorities. And Bill of Rights was mentioned, which is fundamental rights. So we will be talking about 2010 exam and up to 2005 in the next 4 or 5 lessons. Thank you for watching this, and have an awesome day. Hey guys, what's up? So in this particular lesson, we will be talking about the 2010 prelims, and we will be talking about all the modern Indian history question which came and how to approach them. This is presented by me, Roman Sehni, and if you feel that this course is helping in any way, you can leave a voluntary fee by clicking on the contribute button. It will help us in bringing you more and more awesome courses. You can also follow me on Unacademy on unacademy.in/user/Roman Sehni. So in this lesson, we will be talking about 2010 UPSC prelims. Okay. So the question is, by a regulation in 1793, the district collector was deprived of his judicial power and made the collecting agent only, which is a true statement. It happened during the Cornwallis time. What was the reason for such regulation? Basically, district collector was, at that time, he was both the head of revenue department as well as he had judicial and magisterial powers. So assume that any landlord or cultivator came to him saying that there is some problem with regard to the revenue collection. So since he is judge also, so he cannot be an impartial judge because he wants to maximize his revenue also. So because of that, the answer here in this case will obviously be C, because Lord Cornwallis was alarmed at the extent of power concentrated in the district collector and felt that such absolute power was undesirable in one person. Is that understood? So he wanted that a district judge should be there who should preside over the district civil court. Okay, it is basically based on the principle of separation of powers. French philosopher, you must have heard. It was also called as Cornwallis Code or Cornwallis Judicial Reforms in 1793. Moving on to the next question, with reference to Simon Commission's recommendation, which one of the following statement is correct? It recommended the replacement of diarchy with responsible government in the provinces. Yes, so this is the answer. Basically, it was asked to inquire into the working of government and like growth of education and development of representative institution in British India. And the report was supposed to be like, is it desirable to establish responsible government, whether like second chambers of local legislature is desirable or not, whether it should be established or not. So that was the basic agenda of Simon Commission, and they came to know that during their inquiry that relationship between British India and the Indian states need to be taken into account before considering the constitutional problem of British India. So in this case, they recommended the replacement of diarchy with responsible government in the provinces. Okay, so answer is in this case 1, IPS and all this is absolutely wrong in this case. So answer is A. 4 resolutions were passed at the famous Calcutta session of Indian National Congress, okay, in 1906, and after in next year the Surat split happened, and the rejection of these 4 resolution or retention, that was the main reason. So what was these 4? So 4 were basically Swadeshi, boycott, national education, and self-government. So these were the 4. So obviously A is not there in this case, so answer becomes A. But if we want to know that, so a lot of disagreement happened between moderates and extremists between 1905 to 1907. Okay, because like they were working together when it came to partition of Bengal. Okay, extremists, they wanted to extend Swadeshi and boycott movements till the rest of the country. Then finally, like in 1906, like Dadabhai Naoroji was chosen as the leader because he was respected by all of them, and 4 compromise resolutions were passed on Swadeshi boycott, national education, and self-government demands. Okay, but in 1907, obviously Surat split happened and they went their own ways. So as I was telling you, this is the answer. So moving on to the next question. So after Quit India movement, so the way out template was issued by C. Rajgopalachari. It was basically to a solution for the constitutional deadlock. See, in March 1944, with help of Gandhiji's approval, Rajgopalachari devised this formula where it said that the League will endorse the demand for independence, they will cooperate with Congress in forming provisional government, and a plebiscite of all the Muslim majority state will happen at the end of the war in both the northwest and the northeast region, whether they want to join or they want to form a separate state. And in case of separation, defense, communication, and essential matters agreement will be there. And these were binding only in case of transfer by England of full power and responsibility. However, even after this, like the constitutional deadlock continued. Okay, so this is answer is D in this case. So who among the following Governor General created the Covenanted Civil Services of India? See, covenanted and non-covenanted means that only white people can join it, only European people can join it. So Cornwallis in 1786, who was Governor General of India in 1786, he created the Covenanted Civil Services of India, which later came to be known as Indian Civil Services or Imperial Civil Services. Then in independent India, it's called as Civil Services of India, and in Pakistan, it is called as Civil Services of Pakistan. So Cornwallis was the originator of this. The answer is C in this case. Now, with reference to Pondicherry, now Puducherry, consider the following statements. In this case, the answer is very easy. First of all, they were occupied by Portuguese, then they were occupied by Dutch, then they were occupied by British, and finally they were occupied by French till as recently as like 50-60 years ago. So answer in this case, English never occupied Pondicherry is wrong. So answer is 1 only, because French were the last, not the second. So you can see the sequence here. Now for the Karachi session of Indian National Congress in 1931, presided over by Sardar Patel, who drafted resolution of fundamental rights and economic program. So fundamental rights, like Nehru had a specialty in that Bill of Rights. So whenever it comes, if you want to take a guess, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru will be the right answer in most of the cases. In case of Indian context, obviously, not in US or other context. So Jawaharlal Nehru, he drafted the fundamental rights and economic planning program, and it adopted in the session, the Karachi session, as we are talking about. Okay, so now moving forward, who among the following were official Congress negotiators with Cripps mission? So in this case, the answer is very factual. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru and Maulana Azad, they were the official Congress negotiator with Cripps mission. Cripps mission came in March 1942, immediately before Quit India movement, and it was a step by British government to secure Indian cooperation and support their efforts in World War II. And obviously Winston Churchill sent it because he was the prime minister at that time. So here you can read Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, Maulana Azad, and all the details are given here. So which was the immediate cause for the launch of Swadeshi movement? Obviously Swadeshi movement was launched because of the partition of the Bengal. That was the immediate cause, the announcement of the partition of the Bengal done by Lord Curzon. Rest all is like not directly related to that. Now consider the following statements. Dr. Rajendra Prasad persuaded Mahatma Gandhi to come to Champaran to investigate the problems of peasants. It was not Dr. Rajendra Prasad, it was a guy named Rajkumar Shukla. He went to the entire India. He followed Gandhiji everywhere. He persuaded him. He attended all the meetings, asked for a meeting. He literally begged, pleaded, and then Gandhiji finally decided, okay, what is the issue? Let's go there. Acharya J.B. Kripalani was one of Mahatma Gandhi's colleagues in his Champaran investigation. Yes, this is absolutely correct. This is a fact, which nothing much can be done about it. Both of them are factual. So answer is 1 is absolutely wrong, 2 is correct. So in this case, answer is B only. Rajkumar Shukla and not Rajendra Prasad followed Gandhiji to persuade him to come to Champaran to help. So these are all the questions of UPSC 2010, and I will be dealing with 2009, 8, 7, 6 and 5 and the remaining lessons. Thank you for watching this lesson. Have an awesome day. Hey guys, what's up? So in this particular lesson we will be talking about 2009 prelims previous year question papers, and this is like all the modern Indian history questions which I am solving for last 10 years till date 2005. So this is presented by me. If you feel that this course is helping in any way, you can click on the contribute button and leave a voluntary fee, and it will help us in bringing more and more awesome courses on Unacademy. You can follow me on Unacademy on unacademy.in/user/Roman Sehni, where you can watch all the lessons prepared by me. So this is talking about 2009 UPSC prelims. So one of the following began with the Dandi March. It's a very basic question. The Dandi March just started at the beginning of civil disobedience movement. Home rule movement started in 1916. Non-cooperation movement started in 1920, and civil disobedience movement started with Dandi March in 1930. Quit India movement started in roughly about 1942. So this is the basic rough years where they started. So Gandhiji, Dandi March, Sabarmati Ashram, 78 followers. These are the keywords. So they started on 12th March 1930. Dandi, Gujarat is a coastal village. 390 kilometers was the starting point of Sabarmati Ashram. They traveled, and they finally reached Dandi. And that's how it started. 5 April, he arrived on the seashore. So you must be knowing all these facts, otherwise it will become difficult to crack these exams. So also there are other people who broke the salt law in numerous part of the country. So you should know about all these things. With which one of the following movement is slogan do or die? It's Quit India movement. It's very simple, nothing to do with this. Mahatma Gandhi, Quit India movement, do or die. Which of the following founded the Ahmedabad Textile Labor Association? Again, answer is Mahatma Gandhi. Very, very factual question. He started it in 1918. You must be knowing Ahmedabad mill strike, so you can make some connections like that. In the context of the Indian freedom struggle, 16th October 1905 is well known for which one of the following reasons? Basically, partition of Bengal took place, and that is why it is known as that. Dadabhai Naoroji declared that whole of it is wrong, this is wrong, absolutely wrong. So answer is B in this case. And it was Lord Curzon who did this. The Cripps proposal included the following provisions for full independence for India, absolutely wrong. They just wanted to give dominion status. Creation of constitution making body, yes, they started it in, because it's already 1942, so obviously they'll give some concession. So answer is B only. So the Cripps proposal, provision for dominion status plus right for secession of the provinces, and they also provided for a constitution making body. In the individual satyagraha, Vinoda Bhave was chosen as the first satyagrahi. Who was the second? They are again very, very factual questions. So Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru was the second one. You just need to remember it. So individual satyagraha was started by Mahatma Gandhi in 1940, because they wanted to show that you cannot declare as belligerent nation without asking us first. So it was just a force of defiance. And Vinoda Bhave was first, Jawaharlal Nehru was second. Mahatma Gandhi did not want to launch a mass movement at that point of time, because Indian audience were already very, very exhausted, and they were not ready for a mass movement at that. So that is why he started with individual satyagrahas. During the freedom struggle, Aruna Asif Ali was a major woman organizer of underground activity in what? Aruna Asif Ali, she lived well after independence of India, so she cannot be involved with Swadesi movement, at least because it's 1905. Lot of hospitals are named in Delhi after her. So the latest one, which is closest to independence, is Quit India movement. So that's how I remember it. So all India underground leadership was developed for Congress, and it included leaders like Achyut Patwardhan, Aruna Asaf Ali, Ram Manohar, etc. So you'll find a lot of hospitals named after these people, especially in Delhi. And Quit India movement was what this all India underground leadership was all about. Who of the following is the author of a collection of poems called as Golden Threshold? Golden Threshold is a poem which is written by Sarojini Naidu, and she was also called as Bharatiya Kokila, which means the Nightingale of India. the child prodigy. She was the first Indian woman to become president of Indian National Congress. First woman is Annie Besant in 1917 Calcutta session, and she is the first woman to become governor of a state in India. She has lot of poetry which could be sung, and like in 1905 her poems were published with the title The Golden Threshold. Okay. Now moving forward, among the following presidents of India, who was the Secretary General of Non-Aligned Movement for some period? So you first need to know all these are the name of the President of India, and Gyani Jail Singh is the one who was both the President of India as well as he was the ninth Secretary General of Non-Aligned Movement. This is a very factual question. There's nothing much you can do about it except remember it. Now, with whose permission did the English set up their first factory in Surat? So in this case, the answer is Jahangir. In 1613, I think the East India Company, like Sir Thomas Roe, he visited Jahangir and he asked for permission, and Jahangir permitted. Okay, establish the first factory, and that's how it started for us, the 250 years of rule. Okay, in collaboration with David Hare, and you can just see here the name is Thomas Roe, 1613, East India Company, Jahangir, Surat, first factory. Keywords, just remember keywords, nothing else. In collaboration with David Hare and Alexander Duff, who of the following established Hindu College at Calcutta? So answer is Rajaram Mohan Roy. So he established the Hindu College at Calcutta, which is now I think known as Presidency College. So in association David Hare and Alexander Duff, Rajaram Mohan Roy established Hindu College in Calcutta. He was also the first chairman of the establishment committee, and it is now known as the Presidency College. Nothing much about it. Who of the following Prime Minister sent Cripps mission to India? Answer is Winston Churchill, because at World War II everybody knows there were three main power. Winston Churchill, like everybody knows, USA, Russia, and your UK. Winston Churchill, the three main leaders. You might be knowing president and all that. So it's very simple to remember that Winston Churchill was there. So Winston Churchill announced on March 11, 1942 that British cabinet under the leadership of Sir Stafford Cripps will send a Cripps mission. And Cripps, the aim of British policy was the earliest possible realization of self-government for India, but none of the parties agreed, and it ended in a complete failure. Now, during the Indian freedom struggle, why did Rowlatt Act arouse popular indignation? Rowlatt Act has been asked at least 4 times in last 10 years. So it is almost asked every second year. It is one of the most common things. So I personally urge you to remember each and everything about Rowlatt Act. Its date, its who launched it, why launched it, and everything like that. No appeal, no vakil, no dalil. Everybody knows, but go into detail a bit. So it is basically to authorize the government to imprison people, arrest them, trial them, like without trial basically. So no appeal, no vakil, no dalil. The Rowlatt Act 1919 gave huge powers to government to arrest and imprison suspects without any trial. Now this is the last question for this year. The discussion in the third roundtable conference. So just because it's asking third roundtable conference, it doesn't mean that you should not read second or the first. You should read everything. You should especially focus on the timeline, the important person attending those meetings, who is the person who attended all the 3 meetings, what are the outcome of the meetings, when did second civil disobedience movement started, what is Pune Pact, McDonald Awards. All the timeline becomes very, very important in this case. So discussion in the third roundtable conference eventually led to the passing of the Government of India Act 1935. Yes, this is absolutely correct. The Government of India Act of 1935 provided for establishment of an All India Federation. This is like the characteristic keyword for Government of India Act 1935, to be based on a union of the provinces of British India and the princely states. Yes, both of the statements are correct. So both 1 and 2 are correct in this case. So answer is C. So thank you for watching this lesson. Have an awesome day. Hey guys, what's up? So in this particular lesson we will be talking about the previous year question papers of modern Indian history of prelims 2008. This is presented by me, Roman Sehni, and if you feel that this course is helping in any way, you do click on the contribute button and leave a voluntary fee. This will help us in bringing more and more awesome courses to you. And you can follow me on Unacademy on unacademy.in/user/Roman Sehni. Okay, so let's get started. So in this lesson, we'll be talking about 2008 prelims. So the first question is, where was the first session of Indian National Congress held in December 1885? Answer is in this case is Bombay, but they could have confused you because it was originally scheduled for Pune, but due to plague outbreak, it shifted to Mumbai. And in December 1885, the first Congress session under Vomesh Chandra Banerjee, W.C. Banerjee was a Bengali lawyer, was its president, and Gokul Das Tejpal Sanskrit College in Bombay, that was the exact place where it happened. So answer in this case is B, Bombay. Which one of the following was a general brought about by Abul Kalam Azad? So it is not important that you remember just the general. You should know who launched Comrade, who launched the Indian Socialist, who launched the Zamindar. In this case, the answer is Al Hilal. Abul Kalam Azad launched Al Hilal. It was a weekly journal and it increased revolutionary recruits among the Muslims. And he was also the Congress president. You should know additional details about him: 1923, 1940, and he was also independent India's first education minister. Okay, so answer is Abul Kalam Azad. Who among the following rejected the title of knighthood and refused to accept a position in Council of the Secretary State for India? In this case, the answer is Gopal Krishna Gokhale. In 1905, he established the Servants of India Society. He rejected the title of knighthood. He refused to accept a position in the Council of Secretary of State India. This is like you should know these questions because they are asked a lot of time. During the time of which Mughal emperor did the English East India Company establish first factory in India? Answer is Jahangir. So Sir Thomas Roe from East India Company, he visited Jahangir. He asked for the permission of Jahangir that whether can we establish a factory or not. So when they asked for the permission, the first factory was established at Surat. So let's logically eliminate Akbar's reign is from 1556 to 1605. There was no East India Company till then, so answer cannot be Akbar in this case. Humayun is father of Akbar, so that also goes out of the picture. Aurangzeb is from 1656 to 1707. Britishers were fairly established by then. So even if you know the timeline of these rulers rather than knowing which food they eat or which place they go to visit or where they lived, even if you just know the timeline in history, it becomes very very important. Not the exact date, the 12th August and to till that date, but even a rough idea of timeline. Almost 20% of the questions can be easily solved or guessed if you know the timeline correctly. So again and again I am emphasizing that you just focus on timelines. During the Indian freedom struggle, who of the following raised an army called Free Indian Legion? Lala Hardayal is mostly known for the Gadar party. Ras Bihari Bose again was member of Gadar party and he was like revolutionary extremist. Vinayak Damodar Savarkar, he was like jailed in Andaman and Nicobar, Kalapani. And Subhash Chandra Bose is the right answer in this case. So answer is Subhash Chandra Bose. So just knowing Subhash Chandra Bose is not enough. He passed the Indian Civil Services in 1920. He joined, but he did not join civil services. He joined the Congress in 1921. He also formed Azad Hind Fauj, Indian National Army in 1943. You must be knowing Tripuri crisis when he was elected as the president, but he did not join. And finally, he joined the Azad Hind Fauj, Indian National Army in 1943, founded it, Azad Hind Fauj, and he gave the famous call Delhi Chalo. But some people say that he died in a plane crash in 1945. Some say that it's still a mystery. But anyway, I don't know the truth. So, which one of the following suggested the reconstitution of the Viceroy's Executive Council in which all the portfolios, including that of war members, were to be held by the Indian leader? Answer in this case is Shimla Conference. Simon Commission has nothing to do with this. And Cripps proposal, cabinet mission has Cripps proposal talking about dominion status and formation of a constitution making body, and cabinet mission is more in the later stages just before the independence of India. The Shimla Conference happened in 1945. Okay, at Shimla, that is a place in India. They approved the Vival plan for Indian self government, and they also announced a plan for a new executive council in which all the members except the viceroy and commander in chief would be Indians. Okay, so answer in this case is Shimla Conference. Who among the following used the phrase un-British to criticize the English colonial control of India? Answer is Dadabhai Naoroji, because he wrote a particular book which is called as Poverty and Un-British Rule in India. He was also known as Grand Old Man of India. He was also a British Parliament. He was a member of Parliament in Britain. Very learned man, very ardent man, and he was also propounded the theory of drain of wealth. So as you can see, the term un-British is coined by him. He said that British artificially created export surplus. This led to drain of wealth. Okay. Who among the following gave a systematic critique of the moderate politics of the Indian National Congress in a series of articles entitled Lamps for Old? So the answer in this case is Aurobindo Ghosh. So he wrote a series of articles named New Lamps for Old. He was a nationalist, later became a saint, and he was his views were accepted by Lala Lajpat Rai, Bal Gangadhar Tilak, and he basically led to the formation of the extremist school by and large. Who was the Viceroy of India when the Rowlatt Act was passed? Okay, so if you know that Rowlatt Act was passed somewhere in 1919 at the time when there was Khilafat movement going on just before non-cooperation movement. So you will be knowing that Montfort reforms or Montagu-Chelmsford reforms, they were also launched in 1919. So you can relate these two things, and the answer is C in this case. So again, I'm telling you, if you just remember the timeline, that is more than enough. So they always write Secretary of State first by convention, but it's not necessary, and Viceroy second. Secretary of State is higher than Viceroy. So Montagu-Chelmsford reforms means that Montfort reforms, and in this case the answer is, so like just by using logic you can come up to this. Match the list 1 with list 2 and select the correct answer using the code given below the list. So in this particular case, like Devaki Nandan Khatri wrote Chandrakanta. Okay, so you can just go, answer is C. Bankim Chandra wrote the Devi Chaudrani. It is a very famous Bengali novel. Deen Bandhu Mitra is known for Neel Darpan, where he revealed the Indigo crisis. And Prem Chandra wrote Shatranj Ke Khiladi. So answer is C in this case. So thank you for watching this lesson. Have an awesome day. Hey guys, what's up? So in this particular lesson, we will be talking about the previous year question papers of Civil Services Examination Prelims of 2007, and we will be talking about the modern Indian history. So I hope it helps you. We have already dealt with 2008 to 2015 in the previous lessons. This is presented by me, Roman Sehni, and if you find that this course is helping in any way, then obviously you can click on the contribute button and leave a voluntary fee, which will help us in bringing more and more awesome courses. You can also follow me on Unacademy on unacademy.in/user/Roman Sehni. So let's start. The song Amar Sonar Bangla, like it does not even need anything. Like Amar Sonar Bangla is Bangladesh, like it is the national anthem of Bangladesh, written by Rabindranath Tagore, and it was written during the Swadeshi movement of India, and it inspired the liberation struggle of Bangladesh, because Rabindranath Tagore used to live like in Kolkata and Dhaka. Like he used to, like there was no Bangladesh at the time, at that time. So who wrote this song? Answer is Rabindranath Tagore, and the first 10 lines of it is taken as Bangladesh national anthem. It was adopted in 1972 when Bangladesh got freedom and independence. It is also called as My Golden Bengal. It was written in 1906. The first Factory Act. First Factory Act was passed in 1881, if you want to know, restricting the working hours of women and children, authorizing local government to make necessary rules, was adopted during whose time? And from 1880 to 1884, I think the Governor General of India was Lord Ripon. So these kind of questions are asked. So 1880 to 84, Lord Ripon was the Governor General. Factory Act 1881 was passed, tried to improve position of factory workers. Now the questions which are asked are like what any of this can be asked. End of Second Anglo-Afghan War happened in time of what? Or Vernacular Press Act was repealed in what? So can you see he did so many good things. Factory Act 1881, he repealed the Vernacular Press Act, so gave more freedom to press. He introduced policy of free trade. He enactment of a series of acts to making local self-government more effective. And so he was a very popular viceroy, and the controversial Albert Bill also introduced during his time. Who among the following wrote the book Bahu Vivah? It's Bahu Vivah. So answer is Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar. He was a very well-renowned Bengali guy who was worked as social reformist, and he was staunchly in favor of widow remarriage. So he wrote Bahu Vivah, held in women's struggle in securing their rights. He opposed caste evils, priestly domination. He protested against child marriage and supervised the first lawful widow remarriage. And he also ran about 35 girls' school and many out of pocket expenditure. Means like he did from his own pocket. Who wrote the book The Story of the Integration of India? Answer is V.P. Menon. He was an Indian civil servant officer, and he was a very, very crucial person, though many people don't know him, but he played a significant role at the time of partition of India and integration of Indian states. His name is Vapal Panguni Menon, and he, as I said, that he played a key role in the partition of India and the story of integration of Indian states. Which of the following aroused a wave of popular indignation that led to the massacre by the British at Jallianwala Bagh? Jallianwala Bagh happened because of the protest against the Rowlatt Act, which was no appeal, no vakil, no dalil. Every year they ask one question on Rowlatt Act, almost every year. So please go through it in detail. The Jallianwala Bagh massacre happened on April 13, 1919. It was basically the protest against the arrest of Dr. Satyapal and Saifuddin Kichlu. and they were protesting against anti Rowlatt Act. At which one of the following place did Mahatma Gandhi first start a satyagraha in India? So again, it is a very common. Champaran Satyagraha started in 1917 at the request of Shukla. Then I think Khed Satyagraha and finally Ahmedabad Mill strike. So everybody should know this. So our solution is C. Champaran 1917, Khed 1918, Ahmedabad Mill strike in 1918. So this is like a typical. You should know the basic features. So Champaran was because of you should know all the reasons. Khed Satyagraha because of drought, revenue, Ahmedabad mill strike again, plague bonus, Champaran indigo. All this thing you should know. Who among the following started the newspaper Shom Prakash? Shom Prakash newspaper was started by Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar. So you should know all the newspapers, major newspapers, Al Hilal by Abul Kalam, and all this you should know. Like Raja Ram Mohan Rao must have started some newspaper. So everything you should know. Som Prakash, first Bengali political paper was started by Dwarkanath Vidyabhushan in 1858 in Calcutta, but Som Prakash, the newspaper, was published by Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar in 1898. Okay, so answer is Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar because they are talking about newspaper. The ruler of which one of the following states were removed from power by the British on the pretext of misgovernance? So answer is Awadh in this case because all the rest like Jhansi, Satara except were annexed by doctrine of lapse policy of Lord Dalhousie. Okay, he annexed Satara, Jhansi, Nagpur and doctrine of lapse, but Awadh was annexed on pretext of misrule. Who among the following Europeans were the last to come to pre-independence India as traders? First, I think came Portuguese in 1498, then came Dutch in 1600, then English in 1602, and then French in 1664. So this is the timeline for that: Portuguese, English, Dutch, and French. So answer here becomes French. Consider the following statements. Robert Clive was the first Governor General of Bengal. Answer is wrong. Warren Hastings was the first Governor General of Bengal after Regulating Act of 1773. William Bentinck was the first Governor General of India. Absolutely correct. Charters Act 1833 made him the Governor General of India. Which of the following statement given above is correct? So answer is 2 only. So as I have spoken, so these are the reasons for that. Which one of the following was the first fort constructed by British in India? So these kind of questions are not asked fortunately these days, but still you should remember. Fort St. George was constructed in 1664 at Chennai. So this was the first British fort. Fort William was constructed in 1700 by Sir Charles Eyre. Fort St. David was sold by the Marathas to the English in 1890. And Fort Angelo is also known as Kannur Fort. Kannur is a district in Kerala. It was constructed at Kerala by Portuguese in 1505. Consider the following statement. Jawaharlal Nehru was in fourth term as the Prime Minister of India at the time of his death. He died in 1964. So first term was from 51 to 55, then second was 56, then third was first was obviously he was Prime Minister by default, and in the fourth election in 1962 he was in the fourth term when he died. Jawaharlal Nehru represented Raebareli. No, he never represented Raebareli. He was from Phulpur near Allahabad. First non-Congress Prime Minister of India assumed the office in year 1977. Yes, after emergency, a united front of Janata Party, and Morarji Desai was the oldest Prime Minister of India till today. Which one of the following is correct? So answer is 1 and 3. So he was the Prime Minister in 1947 first, then 52 second, then 57 third, and 62 elections, 4 terms. Died in 1964, Phulpur constituency, and from March 24, 1977 to July 1979, Morarji Desai was the Prime Minister. He was head of a multi-party group called the Janata Party, which emerged because of the frustration during emergencies, and he was India's first non-Congress government head. Which one of the following places were associated with Acharya Vinoda Bhave's Bhudan movement at the beginning of the movement? So Vinoda Bhave was trying to do some social reforms by transferring lands from those who had ample to those who did not have any. Started with Pochampalli village in then Andhra Pradesh, now Telangana. They basically said that the landlords who have huge lands can donate at least 1/6 of their land for the benefit of those who don't. So Vinoda Bhave started the Sarvodaya Samaj movement. It was a non-violent social transformation based on the land reforms by the willful cooperation of landowners. So large landowners were asked or persuaded to gift at least 1/6 of their land. This is the Bhudan movement. On 18th April 1951, first land donation happened in village Pochampalli in Telangana. It was the most successful in Odisha. This is a Tarsin region question. So according to the Waival plan, the number of Hindu and Muslim members in the executive council were to be equal. Yes. Wavell thought that this arrangement would have avoided the partition of India. Do you actually think that they wanted for us not to divide? So this is wrong, right? Like they don't give a crap about that. So answer is assertion is true, reason is false. So answer is C in this case. A Simla conference was organized where Wavell introduced his plan between June to July 1945. It's called Shimla Conference because in Shimla it was pertained to set up a new executive council with only Indian members, and Hindu Muslim were given equal representation apart from representation for scheduled class and depressed classes. That has nothing to do with avoiding partition. So I hope that by watching these like last 10 years question papers, you might have an understanding of what kind of questions are asked. Thank you for watching this lesson. Have an awesome day. Hey guys, what's up? So in this particular lesson, we will be talking about the previous year question papers of year 2006 of all the modern Indian history question which came in that. This is presented by me, Roman Sehni. So like if you want to contribute anything, if you feel that this course is helping in any way, you can just click on the contribute button, and you can also follow me on Unacademy, that is unacademy.in/user/Roman Sehni, and you can watch all the lessons made by me there. So we'll talk about 2006 UPSC prelims examination. Okay. So who was the Governor General of India during the Sepoy Mutiny? So this is a very common questions which people ask, like either the Governor General's timeline or what were the important events which happened there. For example, Lord Ripon when he was there, Montagu, or like Chelmsford reforms. Who was the Governor General then? Who was the Governor General at the time of World War One, World War Two? So these kind of questions are asked. Who is the Governor General at the time of, let's say, Swadesi movement, non-cooperation movement? So answer in this case is, sometime people mark Dalhousie, but this is wrong because he just quit before the 1857 revolt. So the answer in this case is Lord Canning. He was there from 1856 to 1862, I think, and Dalhousie was from 48 till 56. So you need to know the major events which happened, like in my time when I gave mains in 2013. So Lord Dalhousie's entire question came in the mains, that what he did not do, is he called the father of modern India in the true sense, and such kind of questions are asked. So you need to be aware about that. So answer in this case is Lord Canning, and he was the Governor General from 1856 to 1862. And first time the term Viceroy was also coined after 1858 Government of India Act. Okay. So you need to know these things, and it is really important. Consider the following statements about Madam Bikaji Kama. First, Madam Kama unfurled the national flag at International Socialist Conference in Paris in the year 1907. This is not Paris, it's Stuttgart, Germany. So first is wrong. Madam Kama served as a private secretary to Dadabhai Nehruji. Yes, when she was in London, she served as the private secretary to Dadabhai Nehruji. Because he was the first Asian to be elected to the British House of Commons, and she was serving him. Madam Kama was born to Parsi parents. Yes, this is the correct answer. So Kama, so this is a Parsi surname. So answer here is 2 and 3 only. So basically she was very prominent personality of Indian national movement, and she was born in Bombay to a Parsi family in 1861, and she raised the flag for India's independence in 1907, and it was done at International Socialist Conference in Stuttgart, Germany. Moving forward, consider the following statements. The Charter Act 1853 abolished East India Company's monopoly of India trade. Again, Charter Acts and Indian Council Act, Government of India Act, all these acts are really important. In 1813, they did not abolish anything. They abolished everything except trade with China and tea trade. In 1833, they abolished all the monopoly of East India Company. In 1858, they abolished East India Company completely. So answer here should be 1833, or like it cannot be 1853. So under Government of India Act 1858, the British Parliament abolished the East India Company altogether and undertook the responsibility of ruling India directly. So this is correct. So answer is 2 only. So B in this case. So 1813, they abolished except tea trade in China. So yeah, this is correct. And 1833, that too was abolished. Okay, so answer here is B. Which one of the following revolts was made famous by Bankim Chandra Chatterjee in his novel Anand Mat? So here it is Sannyasi Rebellion. So Bankim Chandra Chatterjee wrote various like good novels, like this is one of them. So if you talk about this, then what happened is, like, it was a Bengali novel in 1882. Sannyasi Rebellion happened in the late 18th century, and it is one of the most important novel which is considered and like it was banned by the Britishers, and after independence of India the ban was lifted. Okay, so with reference to the revolt of year 1857, who betrayed who? This is a very common question which is asked. So answer here is Tatya Tope. So Tatya Tope fought alongside Rani Lakshmibai, Nana Sahib, and while he was in Gwalior, so he was betrayed by Man Singh, who was Raja of Narwar, and because he was having some dispute with Maharaja of Gwalior, and he like did a pact with Britisher that his family will be saved. So he betrayed Tatya Tope, and he was executed at Shivpuri, Tatya Tope. Okay. Now, under whose presidency was the Lahore session of the Indian National Congress held in the year 1929, wherein resolution was adopted to gain complete independence or Poon Swaraj from the British? So, answer again here is like Jawaharlal Nehru. Everybody knows it. So, yeah. So these are the questions that are asked in 2006 prelims. Thank you for watching this lesson. Have an awesome day. Hey guys, what's up? So this is the last lesson where I'm discussing the questions of previous year prelims of UPSC. This is dealing with modern Indian history. So this is dealing with 2005. So this is presented by me, Roman Sehni. If you feel that this course is helping in any way, you can click on the contribute button and help us in bringing more and more awesome courses. You can also follow me on Unacademy for all the lessons I have made here. That is unacademy.in/user/Roman Sehni. So we'll be talking about 2005 UPSC prelims in this lesson. Which party was founded by Subhash Chandra Bose in the year 1939 after he broke away from the Congress? Here answer is, people might like mention Azad Hind Fauj, but that was way in 1940, like after World War II started. Answer here is Forward Bloc. So Forward Bloc was established in 1939. It was a faction of Indian National Congress, and it was a left-leaning party. Okay, and it was established by Subhash Chandra Bose in India. The Government of India Act provided for provincial autonomy, yes. Establishment of federal courts, yes. All India Federation at the center, yes. So answer is 1, 2, 3. But your learning should not stop here. You should know everything. They provided for All India Federation of Provinces in British India plus princely state. They provided bicameral federation legislature. Their representative of princely state to be elected by the rulers. Abolition of diarchy, and 14% population had a right to vote. Appointment of governors generals and governors by the British. They also provided provincial autonomy, federal court, and creation of Sindh and Odisha. Which one of the following pairs are correctly matched? Champaran, Rajendra Prasad, then Khed Satyagraha, Morarji Desai, Ahmedabad Mill Workers, Morarji Desai, Khed Vallabhbhai Patel. Answer here is Champaran Satyagraha is Rajendra Prasad plus others, Khed Satyagraha Vallabhbhai Patel plus other, Ahmedabad Mill Strike was Anusuya Ben. So answer is 1 and 3 only, that is C in this case. Okay, you can read everything which I have told here. Who among the following was not associated with formation of UP Kisan Sabha in February 1918? Answer is Jawaharlal Nehru. He was not associated. Indra Narayan Dwivedi and Gauri Shankar Mishra established with support of Madan Mohan Malviya. Who among the following drafted the resolution of fundamental rights for the Karachi session? As I have already told you before, this question is quite common, and the answer here is Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. You can read about Karachi session here, that it was in March 1931, which accepted Delhi Pact or Gandhi-Irwin Pact. Civil disobedience movement as a result of that was withdrawn, and fundamental rights and economic policy resolution was passed by Jawaharlal Nehru. In October 1920, who of the following headed a group of Indians gathered at Tashkent to set up a Communist Party of India? Answer here is M.N. Roy. He along with 7 other Indians, they met in Tashkent and they founded in October 1920 CPI. At which Congress session was the working committee authorized to launch a program of civil disobedience? Answer here is Lahore session of 1929. Civil disobedience movement was launched, including like non-payment of taxes and other stuff. In which one of the following provinces was a Congress ministry not formed under the Act of 1935? So answer here is, like you can see all the 8 provinces where it was formed. So as you can see, the provinces were not formed in Punjab, and the elections were held according to the Government of India Act 1935, and Congress won a massive mandate. 8 provinces include Madras, Bombay, Central Provinces, Odisha, Bihar, UP, Northwestern Frontier Province, and Assam. Consider the following statements. On the eve of launch of Quit India movement, Mahatma Gandhi asked the government servant to resign. Wrong. He said that please do not resign, but do not support Britishers also. Asked the soldiers to leave their post. No. He said do not leave your post, but do not fire at fellow citizen. Asked the princes of the princely state to accept the sovereignty of their own people. Like as you can see here, solution is C, because As I have told you, the first and two statements are wrong, so answer automatically becomes C3 only. So he said that British took it India and leave it in God's hand. He also coined the term do or die. Gandhiji did not ask government servant to resign, but just to display allegiance to Congress. What was Komata Gamaru? It was a naval ship which started off from Hong Kong, then Shanghai, Japan, then finally to Canada. So answer here is it is a naval ship on voyage. Komata Gamaru was a Japanese steamship as was sailing Hong Kong, Shanghai, Yokohama, Japan to Vancouver, British Columbia and Canada. Recently, the Prime Minister Trudeau has apologized for this incident because 376 passengers from Punjab were not allowed the entry into the Canada because of the British orders, and hence many of them died on the way back. Who among the following was a proponent of Fabianism as a movement? Answer here is Annie Besant, because as member of National Secular Society, Annie Besant preached free thought, but as a member of Fabian Society, she preached socialism. So answer is Fabianism is related to Annie Besant. Who among the following repealed the Vernacular Press Act? I think it was launched in 1878 by Lord Lytton, and Lord Ripon repealed it. As you can see here, gagging of the press happened with this, and proceedings against various press members of Vernacular were launched. Popular protest happened and it was repealed by Lord Ripon, who was the successor of Lord Lytton. In the first roundtable conference, Ambedkar demanded electorates for the depressed class. Yes, correct. In Pune Pact, special provision of representation of depressed class were made. No, it was not made. The Indian National Congress did not take part in the roundtable conference. In the third roundtable conference, yes. So answer here is C. So Dr. Ambedkar attended all the three roundtable conferences. He demanded separate electorate for the depressed class. Congress attended the second one only, and Pune Pact in 1932, separate electorates for joint depressed class were let go. However, joint electorates were accepted, and there was no provision for civil services and local body representation. And Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar founded the Bethune School at Calcutta with the aim of encouraging education for women. Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay was the first graduate of the Calcutta University. And the third statement is here. Answer here is B, because both of them are correct. And it is Rajaram Mohan Roy who led against the Sati to ban it. Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar with Drinkwater Bethune established Hindu female school, also known as Bethune School and College now, in 1849. Bankim Chandra and Jadunath Bose were the first two graduates of the University of Calcutta, and it was Rajaram Mohan Roy who fought against Sati. Who among the following was the chairman of Union Constitution Committee of the Constitution Assembly? It is a very straightforward question. Answer is Jawaharlal Nehru. Which one of the following is the correct statement? Basically, the Dutch defeated the Portuguese, right, and built Fort Williams in the modern Kochi. This is absolutely correct. So answer is B. Fort William was established by Dutch in 1663. Warren Hastings was the first Governor General who established a regular police force in India on the British pattern. The Supreme Court was established at Calcutta by the Act of 1773. Here the answer is 2 and 3. It was not Warren Hastings, but it was Cornwallis. IPC came into effect in 1868 is correct. So answer B is correct. 1 is wrong. So answer is 2 and 3 only. Which one of the following is the correct chronological order of the battle fought in India in the 18th century? So here, like you can easily see, the order is basically Battle of Ambur was fought in 1749, then Battle of Plassey, then Battle of Wandiwash in 1760, and Battle of Buxar in 1764. Answer here is B. If you want to know, that Battle of Ambur was with Carnatic Nawab was killed, and the battle was fought with French. Battle of Plassey was between Robert Clive and Sirajuddaula. Robert Clive defeated because of Mir Jafar and other people. Battle of Wandiwash was English defeated French in South India, and Battle of Buxar was like Munro representing English against Mir Qasim, who was the Nawab of Bengal. Shujauddaulah was the Nawab of Awadh, and Shah Alam II, who was the Mughal emperor, and the English defeated them in Battle of Buxar. Lord Mountbatten was the viceroy when Shimla conference took place. No. Lord Wavell, everybody knows Wavell is Shimla conference in 1945, so this is wrong. Indian Navy revolt 1946 took place when the Indian sailors in the Royal Indian Navy at Bombay and Karachi rose against the government. Yes, it is correct. So answer is B only. So in the Royal Indian Navy revolt, Bombay was the main center and second was Karachi. Okay, because of HIMS Hindustan strike happened in Karachi. So answer is B only. So I have solved last 11 year question papers from 2005 to 2015. It should be more than enough. Do not go beyond this because the pattern is absolutely different now. So thank you for watching these lessons. I hope they help you and Do spread the word and share it. Thank you for watching this lesson. Have an awesome day.